Hi, I'm Steve Yun from Theta USA. I'm coming to you with a video on how to change your Theta Servo gears. We're going to do a little disassembly, so I'm going to pull this servo off the mount here, and then I'm going to take the top hat and I'm going to replace the gears and the bearings in here because I got some slop in there. So I'll go ahead and start that. Alright, disconnected that servo here, and I'm gonna pull the servo tail control rod off, and then we're gonna take this apart. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the 2.5 mil. Alright. Okay, so next I'm gonna do is take the 1.5. Oops, I'm hitting the camera here. So I'm trying to do it without having to remove the servo from the helicopter, not fully at least. So here's the 1.5. So I'm going to take these 4 off at the bottom. Get my hand out of there so you kind of see what I'm doing. Ooh, I have the servo gears actually inside the house, so I gotta go get those. Alright, and I'll be right back. What we want to do is we want to push down on the servo output shaft to take the top cover off. And we're going to get into the gears here. So, okay, so this gears, this one's interesting. There's a lot of gears. It stayed a lot of them stayed up top. Okay, now they all stayed up top. But we can start replacing these, so. Alright. Take a picture. So I have my gears. And I have the Razor TH-1, so we're putting the TSSG LPT. Okay. And I'm going to pretty much replace all the gears. And I'm going to try to replace this bearing too. I have a bearing puller I'm going to try. But the hard part is these gears. They're stacked in here pretty well. And I'm just going to reverse stack them, but I'm going to do them on here. So like I'll put the main gear down, and then it looks like this gear, and then that gear, and then this gear, and then that gear goes on top, and then it should sandwich back together. So let's do the opposite. Can I rest that there? Let's open this up. Start off, go with the big gear. And if I take it out of here, okay, the thing was pointed up top. So put it down here, just gonna point it up top like that. So point it up top. Next gear is this one. This is the pin for it. I'm gonna take it out because I'm gonna use the new pins. So I'm gonna find the same pin in here. Just looks like the big one here. So let's get that pin. I'll put that pin aside. Okay. And then I need the gear that's that gear. So let's take this gear out. Put that aside. And look for that gear. We had the bigger output shaft. So here, yeah, the small shaft was bigger. You could always get the old one. And Match it up. Is this the right one? It looks like it. Okay. And this one went this tall side down to match up with this gear. So next one is going to be the small one here with the smaller pin. Okay. I'll have to pull that out with the pliers. My hands can't get it. But let's find that pin. This also comes with all the gaskets. I'm probably not going to replace those. It just might be too much of a pain. Okay, so let's get the pin. Put the pin in the hole right there. And we're going to get that next gear out. Should be this one. Match it up to make sure. So hard to do it in front of the camera. Yeah, this is the one. Looks a little dirty. Okay, so this one also goes down. Small gear first. Okay, you can see the reduction that it does. Okay. Okay. Got the last two pins here. And we're gonna put in. You can see one's fatter and one's thinner. So we're gonna do the fatter one first. That's gonna go here. And then the thinner one that goes in there. Let's get those pins out. Fatter pin. And then the bigger, smaller gear. So let me take the rest of the stuff and put it back on here. So I just have the pin. Okay, we'll put the pin in. To use needle nose pliers. Oh, I dropped the top. And then we're gonna put the bigger side down, and that's on top, and then we're gonna put that last pin and last gear in there. So let's grab that pin right here. This one's pretty tiny. Okay, and the last gear. So now what I gotta do is I'm gonna put a little bit of grease here, probably a little bit on this gear, a little bit in between here, pretty much on every gear. I wanna put a little bit of grease, but I gotta pop out first the bearing and the rest of these pins, so that way it can accept the new pins on here. I'm sure there's another bearing down here in the pod I didn't change out. There's two bearings that come here, so yeah, I'll just see which one fits and I'll put that one back in. They both look the same, but yeah, let's get these out here. So a little bit of needle nose pliers and we can just pop those right out. So I have one of these things to take out like gaskets and tubes and stuff. And it looks like I can get in here and grab these pins out, especially the small ones here, try to get in there. And then this last one here. Okay. So all the pins are out. Now I just got to get that bearing out. I don't know what it's called, but Steam makes it. It's a bearing puller kit. I think I'll need this red one here. I'm not sure what size. It's all different sizes, so yeah, the red one. So basically, it could go in there and it can clamp around the inner race. Okay, we'll tighten up that thing. It's a collar on it that tightens up. I need something on the other side here. As it tightens up though, what it does is it expands on that inner race, so it can't move. So now, if I were to tap on this, it will push that bearing out. See if I can just tap on it from here. Now I'm gonna do it on something more solid, so I'm gonna do it on the floor. Okay, one tap and boop, the bearing popped out. And then we can take our tool here and something so that way that'll get some torque on here and undo your bolt. Get the bearing out. There's an O-ring there. So be mindful, there's an O-ring. And I just dropped it, so I'm gonna put the bearing on here. I'm gonna put the new O-ring. That's still in the bag. Okay, I'll get the O-ring, put it back on here, and that way when it presses back in, it should seal up. So I'm gonna get a little bit of grease on there. All right, I'm just gonna take this pick that I have. Get some grease on there and then just get some on the gears here. Now, as the gears turn, they'll self-lube themselves. Okay, that should be enough. All right, and now we're gonna take the top and we're gonna wiggle this thing back together. Okay, so, and we're gonna press it together. Press that bearing in. Nice, this is nice and tight again. I'm gonna put our 4 screws back in. Okay, a little 1.5s. Okay, I'm confident that it's going to be good, but we will turn on the helicopter next. I'm going to actually mount this. I'm going to mount this and then we're going to turn on the helicopter next. Make sure that everything is good. Doesn't make any weird noises or anything funky. Okay, we'll tidy up the last screw here. And then we're going to give them all a nice cinch down. I'm actually going to do the same about the 1.5s in the back. I feel like I just make sure those are good. Okay. Okay, I'm going to flip the helicopter over, undo the blades, get a battery in here, we'll get it booted up. I'll take my V controller out and we will see how this looks. So yeah, before we would have some slop going in and out. There is no slop anymore. So I think we're good to go. All right, let's get one of my trusty Maniacs batteries here and we'll get that plugged in. All right, so I'm gonna go into, so I fly V-bar. I'm gonna go and into the model setup. edit model. I'm basically gonna go to the tail servo setup, and right now when it sits at the middle, it should be pretty much at the middle. So I'm gonna go, and so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on. Okay, and I think that should be the center mark that it was at. It's a new gear, so we should be putting Loctite on it anyways. Okay. Okay, no more play. It looks rock solid now. My whole table's shaking, so the camera's shaking. Nice. All right, I'm good to go. See how the new gears work on the Theta Servo.